Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for the precious opportunity to join JICA Knowledge Co-Creation Program. For today's session, I'm going to present Action Plan for Sustainable Flood Risk Management. I'm Mandal Ravi Thanakanya, Urban Planner from City Planning and Urban Development Department, Bangkok Metropolitan Administration, Thailand. Our organization is a special form of local government administration in Thailand. The BMA consists of 50 district offices and 16 departments that work for public health, public safety, and public welfare. The current Bangkok governor is Associate Professor Dr. Chachad Sittipan. His motto is, "Let's help to make Bangkok a livable city for everyone." Bangkok Development Strategic Plan 2022 to 2027 focuses on 7 aspects. Through strategy directly related to climate change are: Strategy 1. Building a city that is safe and resilient to crisis. Strategy 2. Environmentally sustainable development and climate change adaptation. At present, we enact Bangkok Comprehensive Plan 2013, consisting of Land Use Zoning Plan, Transportation Plan, Open Space Plan, Public Utility Plan. Then, Town Planning Act 2019 regulates that all cities in Thailand must include water plan and natural resource and environmental plan in the new comprehensive plan revision. There are 4 land use types related to flood prevention measures. Type A1, preserve for floodway and flood risk mitigation. Type A2, preserves for natural conservation in rural and agricultural areas. Type A3, preserves for breeding and nursing marine animals near coastal area. Type G24, preserves for coastal public park. On the right side, the table shows 2 types of land use zoning control. The first one is activity control. Either your land is permitted use with conditions or prohibited uses. The second is density control for floor area ratio, open space ratio, minimum lot size, height of building, and setback. In the open space plan, it shows 6 types of open space with specific purposes, such as for recreation, environmental quality along the roadsides, the river and canals, natural floodway, water retention and flood prevention, coastal environment restoration. To solve climate change, reduce energy consumption, and increase green area to reduce GHG emission, Bangkok Comprehensive Plan provides FAR bonus up to 20% increase of the permitted build-up area in 3 cases. Case number 2, if the landowner provides green open space for the public. Case number 4, if the landowner has water retention area or rainwater storage. Case number 5, if the landowner constructs green building with energy-saving technology. Due to rapid urbanization as shown in the maps from 1991 to 1996, built-up area is increasing, while green area has been decreased. The top 5 sectors in Bangkok that have the most shares of GHG emissions are on-road vehicles, commerce and institutes, manufacturing industries, housing, and solid waste disposal. Bangkok Vision 2030. Bangkok moves toward a green, livable, and climate resilient city under nationwide collaboration for sustainable development. From my problem analysis, flooding has the most tremendous impact on life of the people in Bangkok. Therefore, the core problem is flood vulnerability, effects by natural disaster and man-made disaster. Natural disaster caused by flash flood from the heavy rainfall. immersed flood from the north region, river flood from sea level rise, and land subsidence. Man-made disaster caused by improper land uses, water storage incapacity, shallow ditches and canal, drainage pipeline blockage, canal encroachment, inadequate embankment for flood protection, and increasing GHG emissions. The main objective of my action plan is sustainable flood risk management. 4 outputs for natural resilience are biodiversity conservation, floodway redirection, global warming reduction, land subsidence prevention. 7 outputs for flood mitigation and adaptation are compact city, catchment area expansion, canal dredging, drainage system maintenance, set up public space boundary along the canals, embankment construction, and GHG emission reduction. I choose 4 outputs that are related to the City Planning and Urban Development Department. In terms of biodiversity conservation, the first activity is to develop sustainable agriculture and adaptive production systems by adopting smart agriculture technology. 2 indicators are greenhouse gas emission ratio and value of agricultural production. The second activity is to increase green space, urban forest, and mangrove area. Indicators are percentages of green space, urban forest, and mangrove area. The third activity is to increase water absorbent property of land surface. The indicator is biotope area factor. The fourth activity is to prevent and mitigate disaster damage of natural resources and people settlement area. 4 indicators are effective early warning system and flood alert system, evacuation centers, disaster relief plan, forestation buffer zone in coastal area and along the Chao Phraya River or canals. The fifth activity is to build a management system. 3 indicators are effective natural resource and biodiversity management system, water management system, water conservation system. The sixth activity is to create public-private partnership proposal for Green Bangkok Fund and city-to-city collaboration or district-to-district collaboration. The indicator is feasibility study of Green Bangkok Fund. There are 4 activities for global warming reduction output. The first activity is to establish an information system and capacity building. 4 indicators are digital map and statistic data showing climate change impact, digital map for flood risk area and levels of risk, criteria for prioritizing flood risk area, updating plan and measure to deal with flood emergency and disseminate it to the public by smartphone applications. The second activity is to build a cooperation network to protect vulnerable groups from the effects of climate change. The indicator is number of health management networks and volunteers at community level. The third activity is to establish BMA-specific task force. The indicator is number of BMA staff in a specific task force. The fourth activity is to develop knowledge and support research capacity on low carbon technology. 3 indicators are climate change scenarios, co-creation carbon technology database, database of impacts and options in regard of natural disaster adaptation for policy decisions. The output for Compact City comprises of 3 activities. The first activity is to promote urban development projects around mass transit stations. 2 indicators are number of transit-oriented development projects in Bangkok, number of green buildings certified by Thai Green Building Institute. The second activity is urban design for walkable city. The indicator is number of universal design projects for all. The third activity is to prevent and mitigate disaster damage of important historical sites, national monuments, and valuable architecture. Two indicators are significant buildings in flood-risk area are maintained in safe condition, effective early warning system, and flood alert system. The last output is GHG emission reduction. The first activity is to construct mass transit system covering all areas. Two indicators are reduction proportion of energy consumption and greenhouse gas emissions in the transport sector, increasing proportion of public transport in the city. The second activity is to encourage circular economy and 3R, reuse, reduce, and recycle. Four indicators are decreasing amount of solid waste per capita, decreasing proportion of GHG to the amount of solid waste, increasing percentage of solid waste that has been reused or recycled, number of BMA offices implementing greenhouse measure. For action plan timeline, I think the BMA should establish our specific task force to create partnership with all sectors first. Then we create PPP proposal for Green Bangkok Fund and city-to-city collaboration to overcome budget constraints. After that, we should promote circular economy and 3R implementations to reduce climate change impact. Later, other activities will achieve by partnership programs. Thank you very much. Domo arigatou gozaimashita.